I swear. I thought I was having a nightmare when my phone buzzed at 3:17 a.m., 20 motion sensor alerts in 2 minutes. That could only mean one thing. Someone was trespassing on my property. I stumbled out of bed, threw on a white shirt and shorts, and checked my security cameras. What I saw made me think I needed glasses. There was Clarissa Peaton, my 65-year-old neighbor, dressed head to toe in black like some budget ninja, crouched next to my pool fence with hedge cutters. Not just any hedge cutters. These were industrial grade, the kind used for serious landscaping. She was sawing through the reinforced lock I'd installed after the last HOA drama. Let me paint you a picture of Clarissa. She moved in 6 months ago, immediately complained about my music. I'm a jazz musician who practices at reasonable hours, my ostentatious pool lights, and my inappropriate barbecue gatherings with friends. She once called the city inspector because my doormat was supposedly too ethnic for the neighborhood aesthetic. Clarissa Peaton, blonde hair, always in a perfect bob, designer everything, and the personality of a cactus in a hailstorm. I grabbed my phone and started recording. This woman was about to become internet famous and not in the way she wanted. I slipped out the back door, staying in the shadows. The motion sensors kept alerting, but she was too focused on her criminal activities to notice. Almost got it, she muttered, sweat beading on her forehead despite the cool night air. The lock snapped and she actually did a little victory dance, a 65-year-old woman dancing while breaking and entering. I stepped into the light, arms folded, and cleared my throat. Evening, Clarissa. Lovely night for grand theft, isn't it? She dropped the hedge cutters and spun around, eyes wide. For a split second I saw pure terror. Then the Karen programming kicked in. Devin, oh my goodness, you startled me. She clutched her chest dramatically. I was just... my cat. My precious Mr. Whiskers jumped over the fence. I was trying to retrieve him. I looked around pointedly. I don't see any cat, Clarissa, but I do see bolt cutters and a broken lock that cost me $300. She straightened, and I watched the transformation happen. Sweet, innocent neighbor melted away like butter on hot asphalt. The real Clarissa emerged, entitled, imperious, and absolutely convinced of her own righteousness. Well, Devin, if you must know, I'm hosting a gathering for the Harper Ranch HOA. Board tomorrow. Well, today. And we need a suitable venue. Your pool area would be perfect. I'm sure you won't mind sharing with your future neighbors who actually belong in this community. Did this woman seriously just tell me I don't belong in the community where I pay my mortgage, maintain my property, and mind my own business? Actually, Clarissa, I do mind. This is private property. You've committed breaking and entering, destruction of property, and now you're trespassing. I should call the police. Her laugh was sharp enough to cut glass. The police? Oh, honey, you wouldn't want to do that. Not with your situation. I raised an eyebrow. My situation? Well, you know how these things look. A young black man alone in conflict with a concerned neighbor. Sometimes misunderstandings happen. Sometimes people get hurt. Sometimes the authorities don't get the whole story. The threat hung in the air like smoke. My jaw tightened, but I kept my cool. I've dealt with Clarissas before. The key is patience and preparation. You know what, Clarissa? You're right. This could get misunderstood. That's why I'm recording everything. I held up my phone, showing her the red recording indicator. Amazing what good audio quality can do for context, don't you think? Her face went from smug to pale to flushed in record time. You can't record me without permission. On my own property when you're committing crimes? Actually, I can, but you know what? Let's give your party a chance. Use the pool, invite your HOA friends. But there's one condition. She looked suspicious but intrigued. Greed was winning over caution. What condition? I smiled, and she should have run. Then you pay for the lock you destroyed and we go live on social media. Let's show everyone what a proper Peaton pool party looks like. I'll even provide refreshments. Looking back, I should have realized that a woman crazy enough to break into someone's pool at 3 a.m. would never agree to reasonable terms. But watching her mentally calculate party versus exposure versus backing down was entertainment enough. I need to think about it, she said. backing toward the fence. "Take your time," I called after her. "But the lock stays broken until you decide. Sweet dreams, neighbor." As she stumbled away, hedge cutters forgotten, I couldn't help but grin. This was going to be interesting. I didn't sleep much that night. Not because I was worried about Clarissa. Please, she wasn't coming back before sunrise, but because my mind was racing with possibilities. By 6 a.m., I was at my kitchen table with coffee and my laptop, reviewing the footage and planning my next move. The security system had captured everything in crystal clear detail. Clarissa's arrival, her lock-cutting technique, surprisingly professional, and most importantly, her threats. I made backup copies and uploaded them to 3 different cloud services. Always be prepared. My phone rang at 7:30. I didn't recognize the number but answered anyway. Devin Johnson. The voice was crisp, professional, and female-speaking. "This is Victoria Ashworth, president of the Harper Ranch HOA board. Miss Peaton called me this morning with some concerns about a situation last night. I was hoping we could discuss this like civilized neighbors." I nearly choked on my coffee. Miss Peaton broke my lock at 3 a.m., trespassed on my property, and threatened me. What's civilized about that? A pause. She mentioned there might have been a misunderstanding. She's quite embarrassed about the whole thing. Perhaps we could meet this afternoon and resolve this amicably. Translation. They wanted to sweep this under the rug before it became a problem for the HOA's reputation. Of course, I said smoothly. I'd love to meet with the board. In fact, I have some footage I think you'll find very illuminating. Should we say 2 p.m. at the clubhouse? Another pause, longer this time. Footage? Oh yes, high definition. Security cameras are wonderful things. They capture everything. The whole truth, you might say. I see. Yes, 2 p.m. at the clubhouse will be fine. Ms. Peaton and the board will be there. After hanging up, I poured another cup of coffee and started planning. If Clarissa wanted to play games with the HOA, I'd give her a game she'd never forget. Around noon, I got a text from my friend Marcus, fine, I'll use the name just this once, who lived 2 blocks away. "Dude, did you see the next door post? Some lady is claiming someone threatened her with violence for checking on a lost pet. Screenshots." I logged into the Nextdoor app and there it was. A post from Clarissa Peaton titled, "Concerning Incident. Please share for awareness." Last night, I was searching for my beloved cat, Mr. Whiskers, who escaped and went over a neighbor's fence. When I attempted to retrieve him, the homeowner, who shall remain nameless for legal reasons, became extremely aggressive and threatened me. I'm shaken by this incident and want other neighbors to be aware. Please be careful, especially our elderly residents. We're meeting with the HOA board today to address this safety concern. Neighborhood Watch safety concern. The comments were already pouring in. OMG Clarissa, so sorry this happened. Which neighbor? We should know who's dangerous. Did you call the police? Poor Mr. Whiskers, did you find him? I screenshotted everything before crafting my own response. Hi Clarissa, for legal accuracy, you cut through my lock with hedge cutters at 3 almost a.m., trespassed on my property, and made specific threats about how sometimes people get hurt, and sometimes authorities don't get the whole story when I refuse to let you use my pool for an unauthorized party. I have video footage of the entire incident. Looking forward to our HOA meeting at 2 p.m., where we can review the evidence together. P.S. There was no cat. Receipt. Reality security footage. I added photos of the broken lock and a screenshot showing the timestamp of when she'd been at my fence. The comment section exploded. Within minutes, people were asking for the video, sharing their own Clarissa stories, and generally showing that she wasn't as popular as she thought. My favorite. Wait, Clarissa doesn't have a cat. She's allergic and always complains about mine. By 1:30 p.m., the Nextdoor post had 47 comments and 15 shares. Clarissa had deleted her original post, but screenshots live forever. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info.